Consequences of high SHCA water. That means recent test question based on this fact, based on the fact of high specific capacity of water. So there are many recent test questions based on this fact. Any question related to water, you will answer on the basis of this. So I give examples. They ask question like this: why water is used as a coolant in car radiator? In car radiator, we use water as a coolant to cool the engine. Why water? Why not some other liquid? The reason is this: since water has very high value of specific heat capacity, so water will be able to absorb large quantity of heat from the car radiator and can effectively cool it. That answer will write. We'll begin our statement writing this way: since water has very high value of SHC, so because of that it will be able to absorb. Sometimes water will act as a colder body, sometimes water will act as a hotter body. That in case of water is hot, then water will supply heat. That also large quantity of heat it will supply. And sometimes if the water is a cold body, the water will absorb large quantity of heat. So both the thing it will do in a large quantity because it has got very high value of SHC. That is one. Another one, when a person suffers from very high fever, wet cloth is put on his or her forehead. Why? We will say the same reason: because water has very high value of SHC. So because of this, water will be able to absorb large quantity of heat from the person's body and can bring down the fever effectively. You can say, you can slightly elaborate your answer. Write little bit detailed answer, right? Okay. Now the question comes like this: why hot water bag is used for fermentation? Fermentation purpose. Fermentation. What is the meaning of fermentation? To keep an area warmer. Sometimes we get stomach pain. We use hot water bottles or hot water bag we put there under the stomach and we sleep with that hot water bag throughout the night. And throughout the night, your portion remains warmer. Warming of a portion is called fermentation. Why water is preferred? Why not something else? The reason is because water has high SHC value of water, due to which water will contain large quantity of heat and it will retain the heat also for longer time. That means it will be able to supply the heat to the body for longer period of time. So, your portion will remain warmer for longer time. That is the idea. If you use something else, then that thing will be losing the heat because it hasn't contained much heat. It won't contain much heat. It will lose also faster. So that means the thing will become cold also faster. So it won't last longer. It will not keep the portion warmer for longer time. So reasons, all the reasons we think, and we start the statement by writing this fact, and from there only we will be answering. Suppose question comes like this: why juice and the wine bottles in cold countries are kept underwater? Actually, it is they are kept underwater or held underwater to avoid their freezing, because water will be the hot body and the juice water will be the colder body, juice and all. The water will be able to supply large quantity of heat to the juice or the wine, whatever it is, and will avoid their freezing. So that is the idea. During severe winters, we find plants do not die. Many plants may still survive. The reason because water running in their stream will supply the necessary heat for their survival, because water has high SHC value. Water will be able to supply large quantity of heat and will not allow them to die. So the reason is all the same. So any questions related to water we will be answering on the basis of this. Sometimes there are some other question like this. The climate in the coastal region is very much moderate. Average climate, average weather you will find. Now what is the reason? This is water which will be regulating the temperature. Daytime, maximum amount of heat of the sun is absorbed by water. and at night whatever heat it absorbs during the daytime it loses back to the land. So the temperature is very much average. Day temperature and night temperature more or less same. Then they ask question, formation of land breeze and sea breeze is also the same reason. Then this one, whenever there is a forecast about frost or hailstorm, clever farmers put water in their fields. They fill their field with water. Why? Because water has got very high value of SHC, due to which water will be able to supply large quantity of heat to the piece of frost or the ice. So not evaporate, they will make melting them. Piece of ice either will be melting and will be either becoming small in size or they will completely melt on gaining heat from the water. Water will be losing too much quantity of heat. Because water has got a high value of SHC, it must have contained large quantity of heat and it will be able to supply large quantity of heat. So the damage to the crops will be either less or there will be no damage. So this is all the written test question you may have based on this fact. So any question related to heat and water is involved in, the answer is hidden in this fact. Our body temperature remains normal throughout the year. Winter, summer time, rainy season times, all the time we have the normal body temperature. Why? It is water in our body which is regulating the temperature. Summer time it absorbs heat and keep the temperature normal, and winter time it supplies heat and keep the temperature normal. So the idea is all this is high SHC of. So I hope you understood this. Now, then water can act as both. It can act as a heat reservoir and it can act as a heat supplier, heat absorber. Reservoir is reserving heat, it is storing heat, so it can supply. And I gave the example many times that juice bottles are kept underwater in cold countries because it will supply frost and all will melt on gaining heat from the water. That time heat supply, heat reservoir. Plants do not die during winter because the water supplies the heat. So these are the cases where we find water acts as a heat reservoir. And what are the situations where we find heat absorber? I said the car radiator we use water as a coolant. So heat absorbing. Patients getting high fever, so wet cloth on the forehead is absorbing heat. So these are the situations where water is acting as a heat absorber. Okay. Now the another one. Consequences of low and high thermal or heat capacity. Thermal or heat capacity. Any questions apart from water, we will be answering on the basis of this high thermal capacity or low thermal capacity. We will answer on the basis of this. Any questions on metals or anything else, we will be answering on this basis. Okay. They ask question like this: the base of an iron press, which we press the clothes and all, is made heavy and thick. Why? It is made heavy and thick to increase its thermal capacity, to increase the value of its thermal capacity. Because specific capacity we cannot change, but we can change the thermal capacity by changing the mass. If you take greater mass, the heat capacity will increase. So now, because of the larger mass, it will be able to store large quantity of heat, and it can supply the heat also for longer time. So that is the idea. We cannot, because by nature iron has got very low value of SHC. So we are increasing its mass to compensate it the low value of SHC, and then by that way we are increasing its heat storing capacity, heat absorbing capacity by increasing the mass. Another question is why the base of cooking pans, cooking utensils are made heavy and thick, and usually they are made up of aluminium. because aluminium has got high SHG and on top they are taking thick means greater mass. So thermal capacity becomes very high, and because of that it will be able to store or absorb large quantity of heat from the source and will cook the food properly and keep the food warmer also for longer time. So we are going for high thermal capacity in that case also. You must have seen nowadays we are using lightweight iron, and lightweight iron are made up of aluminium because aluminium has already very high value of SHG. So small mass also will do, and the small mass also will be sufficient to supply the necessary heat, and we can use the heat for longer time also. So all lightweight irons are made up of aluminium. They cannot be made up of iron because iron has got very low value of SHG, and on top if you take lesser mass, then the heat storing capacity will become very less. So the heat of the iron press will be finishing in no time. It will lose the heat in no time. So you cannot use for longer time. That is the idea. Hope you understood. Now this one low thermal capacity, we go for calorimeter. What is a calorimeter? Calorimeter is a container like this. This is called calorimeter. In which we measure the heat of a substance. Calorimeter is made up of thin copper metal which is polished from inside. Because we are keeping the hot substance here in the calorimeter, hot things are kept. And the container must not absorb heat from this hot substance, or it must absorb very small quantity of heat. For that reason we are going for thin copper metal, which is small mass, and on top we are taking copper because copper has got very low value of SHG and we are taking very less mass. So due to which its thermal capacity value becomes very low. That means it will have very low heat storing capacity. It will not absorb the heat from the hot substance in a large quantity. Very small quantity it will absorb the heat, and that is negligible. That means in that case we will be able to measure the amount of heat present in the substance more accurately. If the container itself absorbs say 20% of the heat, then what measurement you will make, that will not be accurate because that will give the value of only 80%. Only example I am giving for this. So calorimeter must have very low thermal capacity, and that is made possible by using thin copper metal. Hope you understood it. Yes? Tell me if you have any doubts. Calorimeter time will go for low thermal capacity and other time will go for high thermal capacity. Okay. Now we are doing principle of calorimetry. Principle of calorimetry. You will find all these points are there in the notes. Principle of calorimetry. This is very simple principle. It says that heat lost by a hot body is equal to heat gained by a cold body, provided that no heat is lost to the surrounding. Surrounding does not absorb any heat, and neither it supplies heat to the system. Then heat loss will be equal to heat gain. Principle of calorimetry is also known as method of mixtures, because here one hot body and cold body we mix or we bring in contact. So this is also known as, the other term for principle of calorimetry is the method of mixtures. And principle of calorimetry satisfies the law of conservation of energy. It is based on the law of conservation of energy because heat loss is equal to heat gain. That means total heat remains constant. Total energy remains constant. Energy is neither created nor be destroyed. If the other body's temperature is increasing because it is gaining heat, and the first body's temperature is decreasing because it is losing heat. So that is the idea. Heat loss is equal to heat gain. So principle law of conservation of energy is based on. Now another one. Till when the heat is lost by a hotter body and the heat gained by a colder body take place, till both the bodies reach a constant temperature, common temperature. Hot body will lose the heat, cold body will gain the heat, till both the bodies attain a common temperature or reach a common temperature, a constant temperature. Till then the sharing of heat will carry on. Sharing of heat will go on. Hope you understood this. Okay. Now the next topic we have is effect of pressure and impurities on MP and BP. BP is boiling point of a substance. Okay, I have little brief idea about it only. Melting point of ice decreases when we increase the pressure or when we add impurities. But the boiling point of water will increase. Melting point decreases, but the boiling point increases. How? When we increase the pressure or when we add impurities. They ask result test question based on this fact. Why ice melts faster when pressure is increased on it? Suppose you have a big block of ice, press it with some heavy thing on it, just from top put some pressure and some iron weights you can keep over it. Then you will find that ice is melting faster. When the ice is scattered, stands on the piece of ice, you will see that the ice over there will be a mark formed. There will be a mark seen on the point where they are stamping it. Why mark is seen? Because the point where the pressure is exerted, that over there the ice is melting. So with the increase of pressure, the melting point of ice decreases and the ice melts faster. That is the idea. Now another one, impurities. For example, salts. When we sprinkle salts over ice, we will find the ice will melt faster. Because addition of impurities decreases the melting point and will enable the ice to melt faster. Okay. Sometimes when there are huge snowfalls and all and the road gets blocked, then army people they bring the bag of salts and they sprinkle salts on the road. So the road gets cleared faster there because all the piece of snow will be melting on the addition of impurity which is salt over here. Okay. You must have seen that ice cream and a piece of ice, which melt faster? Ice cream and the same side of a piece of ice you are having. So which one of them will melt faster? Ice cream will melt faster. You know why? Because ice cream contains impurities. Like you have sugar added there, you got flavors, you have got chocolates, whatever things, that some fruit juice may be also mixed over there with it. So it is all having impurities. So melting point of such ice is lower, is less. So it is melting faster. That is that. And only normal piece of ice will not melt faster, quicker, because they will be melting at the normal temperature, that is 0 degrees Celsius. So it will take its own time. Now this boiling point of a substance increases when we add impurities or when we increase pressure. In a pressure cooker, they ask question why it is easier to cook food in a pressure cooker. Because in a pressure cooker, when we close the lid, the pressure increases and so as the boiling point of water. Water normally boils at 100 degrees Celsius, but inside pressure cooker, it boils at a higher temperature, somewhere 120, 125 degrees Celsius temperature. So definitely that water inside the pressure cooker will be containing more amount of heat energy, because the boiling at a higher temperature. You have the water of 100 degrees Celsius, the water of 120 degrees Celsius. Definitely water of 120 degrees Celsius will contain more heat. So that heat will cause the food and all food items and all to be cooked faster and also to be cooked in a proper way. The food will not remain raw inside the pressure cooker. Hope you understood this fact. Now they ask question again like this. It is difficult to cook food on a high altitudes, such as on the hills, mountains and all. It is difficult to cook food. Because here the atmospheric pressure is less, the boiling point of water is also less. Instead of 100 degrees Celsius, maybe in California the water may be boiling at 70 degrees Celsius or 80 degrees Celsius only, instead of 100 degrees Celsius. Definitely that water will not contain large quantity of heat. So that will not be able to cook the food even properly or in a shorter time. So that's why at these places, use of pressure cooker is almost must, is compulsory. Okay. Now the addition of impurities also increases the boiling point. Question may come, suggest two methods of increasing the boiling point of water. So you say increase the pressure and add impurities. So addition of impurities increases the, like for example they ask question, why coffee causes more severe burn than hot water? Because coffee contains impurities, then over there the water must be boiling at a higher temperature than 100 degrees Celsius. So it will contain more heat than your normal hot water. So that will cause more severe burn. That is the idea. I think when you make a cup of tea and you just boil a cup of water, so this takes longer time. I'm sure tea making will take longer time. Because in tea you have to add impurities and all. So impurities increases the boiling point of such water. The water will be taking longer time to boil now because boiling point is higher. But of course it will contain more amount of heat as compared to the hot water there. So that is the idea. The idea is this one only. I hope you understood it. Yes. You will have result test question based on this. Okay. Now the next topic is change of state. Change of state, or we call it phase or phase change. PHAC, phase. Okay. When we heat a substance continuously, we can observe two things happening. Either there will be a rise of temperature, or when you cool a body, that is when you withdraw heat from the substance, then the temperature will fall. There will be change of temperature either or change of state. Say for example, we have a piece of ice. Let us start heating it. You will find that the ice, either temperature will change or maybe let us take some water and heat it. You will first see that the water is water only. That is only temperature is increasing. If you are using a thermometer there, you find that the thermometer reading, mercury reading is increasing. But at 100 degrees Celsius, that is the boiling point, the temperature remains constant for quite some time. Temperature remains fixed. And that time only change of state process will begin. And until and unless the entire state of the substance changes from liquid to vapor, then temperature will not change. Temperature will remain constant at that time. That means one of them will occur at a time, either change of temperature or change of state. When temperature is not changing, that means the state is changing. And when the state is changing, that time temperature is not changing. So one of them will be happening at a time. When you see there is a rise of temperature, that means the state of the substance will remain the same, will not change. And when the temperature is constant, that time the state of the body starts changing here. And unless the process is completed, temperature will remain constant. Temperature will not change. The idea behind it is that when you supply heat energy to a substance, the molecules will have both kinetic energy and potential energy. Average increase in the kinetic energy of molecules will increase its temperature. Kinetic energy is related to its temperature, whereas potential energy is responsible for the change of state. So when the body reaches a particular temperature, fixed temperature, then its average kinetic energy in the molecule remain the same for quite long duration until the body changes its state. That is, that time only potential energy changes during the change of state, whereas temperature remains constant. So the quantity of heat either absorbed or rejected by your body at the time of change of state or during the change of state is called latent heat. Latent means actually hidden, HIDDEN, hidden heat. Normally heat is identified when it shows the rise of temperature. Suppose a body, you are using a thermometer and heating a body, what are you expected to see? You are expected to see the rise of temperature. When the temperature is rising, you say that the body is absorbing heat or gaining heat. And when the temperature falls, you say that the body is cooling, that means the body is losing heat. But the heat, the thermometer is showing neither rise nor fall. Yet the body is absorbing it or losing it. That may happen. Such a heat which does not change the temperature of the substance is called latent heat, or the amount of heat involved during the change of state is called latent heat. Latent. The spelling is L-A-T-E-N-T, latent heat. And latent heat will be involved, normally we use the temperature, particular kind of fixed temperature, we say melting point, boiling point, freezing point, condensation point, this kind of thing we say. What is melting point? We say it is the fixed temperature at which a solid changes into liquid. What is boiling point? It is the fixed temperature at which a liquid changes into vapor or gas. What is the reverse of melting? Freezing. It is the fixed temperature at which a liquid changes into solid. So all these things we know, and you have done in the lower classes also. The fixed temperature we say, that means at that time for quite long time the temperature remains fixed, the temperature remains constant, because the process of change of state takes really longer time than the process of changing of the temperature. It takes longer time. Then only the change of state process will be complete. Okay. Yes? Any problem with the video or audio? Okay. So what is latent heat? Latent heat is the heat that does not show any change in temperature. Okay. Latent heat means hidden heat, but we don't say that. We say if they ask a question why latent heat is called latent means hidden heat, because it does not show any change of temperature. And the definition we say it is the amount of heat absorbed or rejected. Rejected means lost by a substance during the change of state at a fixed temperature. That is called latent heat. So now we define specific latent heat. Specific, what is specific we use when we take unit mass. Specific latent heat. Latent heat, and this is denoted by L, capital L. So if question comes, define a specific latent heat of a substance, we say it is the amount of heat required to change or to convert unit mass, because specifically the word unit mass of the substance from one physical state to the other physical state at a fixed temperature. You have to mention that fixed temperature. Okay. What is the SI unit of L? The SI unit of L is joule per kg. Joule per kg, that is kg minus 1 we write, or we can write like this, joule slash kg per kg. We have two types of specific latent heat. Mainly you have to know L of fusion of ice. We say specific latent heat of fusion of ice, the value of which is this one, 336 joule per gram. This is by nature, that value you cannot change. LV of steam. LV of steam is a specific latent heat of vaporization. V stands for vaporization of steam. The value is this much, 2260 joule per gram. So if you change kg, 1 gram requires 336 joule, then 1 kg will require how much joule? 336 into 1000. That means the answer will come like this, 336 and 000 joule per kg wise. And alternate answer will come 2260 again 1230 joule per kg wise. Gram wise the value is 336 joule per gram, 2260 joule per gram. If question comes, define the specific latent heat of fusion of ice. How do we define? We say it is the amount of heat required to change the unit mass of ice into water, because ice will be fusioning, will be melting and will be forming water. To change unit mass of ice into water at 0 degree Celsius, because we know the melting point of pure ice is 0 degree Celsius. Only pure ice will have the melting point 0 degree Celsius at normal pressure, because we know the fact that the pressure will increase and the melting point decreases. It won't be 0 degree Celsius, it will be something else. That's why you have to mention normal pressure and pure ice without any impurities, because impurities also will affect the melting point. Similarly, they say specific latent heat of vaporization of steam defined. We say it is the amount of heat required to change a unit mass of water into steam at 100 degrees Celsius, because we know the boiling point of pure water is 100 degrees Celsius at normal pressure. Okay. Sometimes they give the value. They say specific latent heat of fusion of ice is 336 joule per gram. What is the meaning of this statement? So we say this statement means that 1 gram of ice requires 336 joule of heat to change or to melt into water at a fixed temperature of 0 degrees Celsius. We'll say that. Similarly, they will say the specific latent heat of vaporization of steam is 2260, maybe like this here, 22640 joule per kg. What is the meaning of this statement? We say this statement means that 1 kg of water requires this much value of joule of heat to change into steam at fixed temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. We'll say that. I hope you understood it. Latent heat value, the value of air, that is specific latent heat value is generally very high as compared to the specific heat. You know, specific capacity of water is the maximum value, and the value is only 4.2 joule per gram per degree Celsius. That means to change the temperature by 1 degree Celsius of a unit mass, only 4.2 joule of heat is needed. But to change the state from one form to the other form at a fixed temperature, how much heat is needed out here? For ice to water, we need 336 joule of heat, and for the steam, water into steam, we have to supply this much 2260 joule per gram of the heat. So just see which has the highest one. This is 4.2, is 336, too high, almost 80 times more, and 4.2, this is 2000 something, that means nearly 500 times more, nearly 500 times more than this one compared to the specific heat capacity. So latent heat is a very powerful type of heat. That means it takes very long time for the change of state. Even when you try to boil water, water will be coming to the boiling point, and then it remains boiling for quite some time. Then only the steam is formed. Then only you will see the steam coming out. Because the latent heat for the steam has got a very high value. So it needs to have a large quantity of heat from the source. Then only it will change into steam. Otherwise it will not change. Now again we have many reasons set question based on this fact. High value of specific latent heat of ice and specific latent heat of steam. You will get result as question. The questions based on ice and steam will be answered on the basis of this fact, a specific latent heat fact. So they ask question like this, when there is a snowfall, the weather becomes very cold. Give reasons. They may ask you, give reasons why it becomes very cold weather. And then we say that whenever there is a snowfall, to melt the snows, large quantity of heat is required in the form of latent heat, the value of which is very high. That means ultimately the snows will be melting. But where will they get the heat from? They will receive the heat from the surroundings. And surroundings will be losing the heat in the form of latent heat in order to melt ice and to change that into water. And the value of latent heat is very high. You can give an example also. For example, 1 gram of ice will melt when it receives 336 joule of heat from the surroundings. Then the surrounding loses large quantity of heat in order to melt the ice. That's why the surrounding is very cold. When when ice in the lake starts melting, the weather becomes again cold. Very cold, because in order to melt ice, large quantity of heat is lost by the surroundings in the form of latent heat, the value of which is very high. So that the surrounding loses large quantity of heat and becomes very cold. They sometimes ask the reverse question, when water in the lake starts freezing, the weather becomes warmer and pleasant. Why? When will water change into ice? When water loses heat. Water will lose heat, then it will freeze and change into into ice. That is this type, but water will also lose heat. 1 gram of water will lose how much of heat? This much quantity of heat, 336 joule of heat in order to change into ice. That means where will that heat come to? When the water loses the heat, that heat will come to the surroundings. The surrounding will be receiving the heat. That means the surrounding will become warmer and hotter and pleasant. That is the idea. They say ice is more effective coolant than cold water. To cool, cold drinks bottle or maybe juice bottles and all, we use lump of ice. We don't use cold water there. We go for ice. You know the reason why? Because ice contains latent heat. That means ice has the ability of absorbing large quantity of heat from the hotter body, which can be juice bottles or which can be juice or which can be cold drinks bottle in the form of latent heat, the value which is very high. That means the hot body coming in contact with the ice will be losing large quantity of heat. Then the hot body will become much colder with the coming in contact with the ice. So that is the idea. Now they ask questions. Quite many questions they will ask on the ice, and the answer is based on the latent heat fact. Okay. Now steam. They say steam causes more severe burn than boiling water because steam contains latent heat. When is the steam formed? When you supply extra additional quantity of heat, this much per gram. 1 gram of water will change to steam only when it receives 2260 joule of heat. That is compared to the hot water. The steam contains additional quantity of 2260 joule of heat per gram, and that helps. Causes more severe burn because the steam contains more heat, more amount of heat as compared to the boiling water. And that heat is in the form of latent heat, the value which is very, very large, very, very high. We say steam is very powerful because we have the steam engine to pull the entire train. Why not hot water engine? Because the steam is containing extra quantity of heat there, additional quantity of heat as compared to the normal water, boiling water. Sometimes they ask the question why to put off a fire, hot water is preferred to cold water. The reason is because we compare hot water and the cold water. Hot water will reach the boiling point faster than the cold water. The advantage of coming to the boiling point, that is 100 degrees Celsius, is that now the water will be changing into the steam. When will it change into the steam? When it will absorb large quantity of heat from the fire in the form of latent heat, the value which is very high. That is, it will make fire to lose large quantity of heat in order to change this water into the steam. And as a result, the fire will be put off quicker. But if you do the cold water will also do the same thing, but it will take longer time because cold water will come to the boiling point slower as compared to the hot water. Hot water is already hot, it is reaching the boiling point faster. Now the cold water will be absorbing the heat from the fire in the form of latent heat, the value which is very high. It will do the same thing, but it will take longer time. So in that it is slightly disadvantageous because the fire we want to put off faster, quicker. So hot water is preferred. Generally, if they are giving a choice, hot water and cold water, which water you should prefer to put off a fire, you go for hot water, don't go for cold water. Okay. So this was the theory part. So today we are doing this one. Tomorrow I will teach you heating curve and the cooling curve, and then we will be doing the numerical problems. So today we are